Hey there, so this is my first video since having the baby. Our son was born 2 days ago, 2 nights ago, and today was our first day back. We were discharged from the hospital today, and I felt like I needed to make this video because on the way home today from the hospital, I started to feel that sinking feeling of having the blues, I guess. And it's crazy because it's a wild ride, having a baby and then adjusting to life after having a baby. It's just, there's so much that goes into it that hits you all at once. I feel like when you're in the hospital, that's kind of like the honeymoon, you know what I mean? There's this instant high after you have the baby. You feel empowered, you feel excited, you feel thrilled. The baby's finally here. It's just really, it's a happy time. And then you go into your recovery room for the next, day and a half, and it's kind of like, you have nurses waiting on you hand and foot, and doctors checking on you, and everyone's taking care of you. And although it can be kind of annoying having people in and out of your room, at the same time it gives you the security of being cared for. When you leave the hospital, it's also exciting, and you can't wait to leave the hospital. You just want to go home and resume life. But when that actually starts to happen, like for real, it's something else entirely. The emotion takes over. You realize, oh my gosh, we're going home. This is, the hospital part is over, and now we have to resume normal life, and there's going to be an adjustment period. And especially if you have other kids, you're thinking, like, how is everyone going to, adapt to this new person in the family? And things start to come into play that, you can only feel as you're going through it. And I started to feel down. I started to feel alone. And I started to feel like the waves were crashing in on me, and I was losing sight of the shore, and I felt like I was slipping underneath the surface. And I had to remind myself that I'm strong, and that I've done this before, and that I can do it again. And it's so overwhelming. The roller coaster of emotions that take place, within the first week of the baby being born. It's overwhelming. It's the only word that I can use to describe it. And as you know, I'm not drinking anymore, and so my coping mechanisms are all changed, are changing. And so there, I'm finding new ways to handle emotions, big feelings. Finding new ways to deal with feeling overwhelmed, down. I kept trying to convince myself, I'm like, I got this. And for a while today, honestly, I felt like I did have it. But then I felt like I didn't, and I was upset. And there's just so much to take into consideration, but I wanted to document this a little bit, because I know that there are other moms who feel this exact same way, when they have a baby. Entering into that postpartum period is, it can be blissful, but it has, a dark side to it as well, that I think a lot of people feel but don't know how to articulate or talk about, because there's so much guilt and pressure put on moms to love what they're doing all the time, and to be a great mom, and to be the perfect mom, and so we don't talk about when we feel down. We don't talk about when we feel you know, alone. You know, you could have a ton of people there and you could still feel alone. You could still feel alone and have people bringing you casseroles and giving you hugs and kisses and telling you they love you. You know, you can still feel that feeling. It's very real. It's very valid. You know, and it's hard. It's hard. There's so many shifts happening, both physically, mentally, emotionally. That goes without saying. But, you know, you got to find your strength. You got to decide, conscious decision type stuff, you know, say, I am going to be all right and I'm going to get through today. I don't need to get through tomorrow. Yesterday's done. I'm going to get through today. And, you know, people will tell you, oh, well, you know, live your life fully and, you know, don't have this perspective of getting through everything all the time. That's no fun. Well, you know what? Sometimes that's all people have. Sometimes all they have is the feeling of one more minute, one more hour, one more day, you know, one day at a time. That certainly helps a lot of people. So to minimize that or to make that seem like a half-life, I feel like is not only a disservice to people who feel that way, but it's just, it's so, it's so invalidating, you know, and it's hurtful because everyone holds a different perspective. You know, and you may have a different one, and that's fine, but it doesn't make mine any less. It doesn't make my feelings of pain or unworthiness or you know, feeling like I'm not indifferent, but you know, just that crazy ride of emotions. Oh. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm really tired. And today I decided that I was going to be strong when I woke up this morning, and then I wasn't strong the whole way through, and then I had to tell myself that that was okay, and I had to try to be strong again. And I think that going into this with this mindset of, oh, it's going to be completely different this time, is setting yourself up for failure, because if and when you do feel those strong, intense emotions, you're going to feel like you're letting yourself down for not meeting the expectation of being strong this time and getting through it, you know, fully as you had expected to. But, you know, it's just, it's a wild ride. That's all I can really say. You know, there's so many things as women that we can accomplish in our lives, and I think that one of the most strong and profound and incredible things that we are able to do is to have children. There's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it in all the world. And at the same time that it has this incredibly beautiful aspect to it, it can also be devastatingly sinking, you know, and bring a person so low that they never imagined they'd ever be. And I think that we need to honor all of the different aspects of motherhood from start to finish, you know, because there's not one way to be. There's not one way to adjust. There's not one way to adapt. There's not one way to heal. There's not one way to get used to something, so to speak, you know. It's very individual. And whatever you happen to feel is okay. You know, it's good. Even if it doesn't feel good, it's good, and you need to tell yourself that it is, because you're experiencing it, so as not to discount any part of your journey let yourself be. Let yourself be. You know, let yourself be sad when you're feeling sad. Let yourself be happy when you're feeling happy. Let yourself feel lonely when you're feeling lonely. I find that when you try to push feelings away, it only intensifies them and makes them worse for you mentally, as you're, thinking about them so much. But if you let something be what it is, there's a much higher chance of it moving through your mind quicker and moving away from you quicker as well. But anyway, I've been thinking about a routine and how everything's gonna play out, and I don't know how everything's gonna play out every single day, but I do know that it's whatever it is, whatever it's going to be is going to be okay. Some of us, even us strong women, what is strong anyway? Are you less strong if you have intense feelings? Are you less strong if you allow a feeling to take over every once in a while? Are you less strong if you feel the feeling more intense than other people? What classifies you as less strong? What classifies you as the strongest? It's so individual. That's all I can say. But going through this without alcohol for the first time in my life is going to be something different, something remarkable that hopefully that I can feel proud of and find a way to show other people a different way, from someone who very well could have done it the way she's always done it, and slipped into a drinking pattern, but is choosing a different way intentionally, because that means something. Recovery means something. It does. So anyway, I'll leave this here. I don't want to make it too long for tonight, but I just wanted to check in and let you know that this part of my life, this phase of my life is beginning, and it doesn't last forever, but it can sure feel shitty sometimes. It can also feel really, really happy. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and happy Valentine's Day, by the way. I'll see you next time.